All right, let's get to the details now. And President Muhammadu Buhari has inaugurated the long-awaited maritime security architecture, codenamed Deep Blue.
Attacks on West Africa's Gulf of Guinea, which has hampered economic gains of the region, with Nigeria receiving a fair share. The situation the federal government is nipping in the bud with the inauguration of land, sea and air assets by President Muhammadu Buhari.
This intervention, no doubt, will facilitate a conducive environment for the maritime sector to thrive and contribute to the diversification of the Nigerian economy.
Based on this set of facts, I developed an agenda to secure the channels of maritime trade, reduce shipping costs, and expand indigenous participation in the maritime sector in order to facilitate increase in the contribution of the sector to national revenue and the gross domestic product.
According to the latest figures from the ICC, that is the International Maritime Bureau, the Gulf of Guinea accounted for nearly half.
Beginning to witness an era of proper coordination, meaningful cooperation, collaboration, production,
efforts.
Security equipment procured include a maritime security unit consisting of command and control communications and intelligence center for intelligence gathering as well as data collection. Others are 16 armored vehicles for coastal patrol, special mission vessels, 16 fast interceptor boats with air assets to include 2 mission aircraft for surveillance of the country's exclusive economic zone, alongside 600 specially trained troops for interdiction, 3 special mission helicopters for search and rescue operations, in addition to 4 unarmed aerial vehicles.
Charles Alpha there. In the meantime, key players in the maritime sector are already envisaging the spectrum of possibilities the inauguration of the Deep Blue project will unlock in the maritime domain. Imoleayo Togede Ogunforora, who was at the official launch of the Maritime Assets, reports on activities on the sidelines of the inauguration.
The arrival of President Muhammadu Buhari from the inauguration of the Lagos-Ibadan standard gauge rail line is a clear determination of his administration's resolve to revolutionize the transport sector both on land and sea. The Deep Blue project, the first integrated maritime security strategy in Western Central Africa, will secure Nigerian waters up to the Gulf of Guinea and will tackle maritime security on land, sea and air. This effort to secure the waters will give Nigerians more leverage to harness the enormous resources in the maritime environment and aid the drive towards economic diversification.
When we get our security right, it will get down the cost of shipping. That's one, which is good for stakeholders. Then, of course, safety of the goods and safety of the people.
It's an assurance to the international trading community that Nigeria has taken full control of its maritime waters.
Command, Control, Communication, Computer and Intelligence C4I units for intelligence gathering and data collection, armored vehicles for coastal patrol, special mission vessels and fast interceptor boats, special mission aircraft for surveillance, and helicopters for search and rescue operations are among the assets acquired for the project. This project, a collaboration with security agencies, is designed to improve operational capacity of stakeholders. In Lagos, Imoleayo Togede Ogunforora, NTA News.
And the Ministry of Transportation has delivered the 4th standard gauge railway line with the inauguration of the Lagos-Ibadan double tracks standard gauge rail line for commercial operations by President Muhammadu Buhari. Oyinnaya Kalu Oka takes a look at the journey of this project, described as a 21st century railway network.
Initiated by previous administrations, the Abuja-Kaduna rail line was completed and inaugurated after 10 years. Same with Itakpe-Warri, which was abandoned for more than 33 years. But the Lagos to Ibadan rail line was re-awarded by this administration and completed after 4 years. How has the journey been so far? In the year 1900, the first train in Nigeria ran from the Lagos colony to Ibadan in a narrow gauge track. More than 100 years later, after being abandoned for decades, plans to revive this rail line and replace it with the standard gauge was conceived. In August 2012, the contract for the construction of the Lagos to Ibadan standard gauge rail line was awarded. But due to funding problem, the project never saw the light of the day. With the coming of this administration in 2015, plans to resuscitate this rail line was given top priority. In 2016, the Lagos to Ibadan rail line project was re-awarded, but this time around it was renegotiated and redesigned to accommodate more modern facilities. Funding for the project was made available by the Nigerian and Chinese governments. With the agreement sealed by both partners, the project took off on a high speed, with a groundbreaking ceremony on the 7th of March 2017 by the Vice President. Same year, construction began, equipment were rolled out, and workers mobilized on site.
It's going to be followed by ballast filling, and then you have the track.
To check delay and execution of substandard projects, the Minister of Transportation, Chibike Rotimi Amici, deployed a regular inspection.
The minister was not only passionate about this project, it was as if it was his life.
Before long, the project started taking shape. Massive state-of-the-art 11 train station constructed along the corridor.
Opening up the country is critical to development, to culture, to productivity. And I'm happy to see it being resuscitated.
To ease movement of goods, the rail line was further extended to the seaports. Along the line, construction was delayed, but in all this, with the commitment, determination, and the zeal of the federal government, the Lagos to Ibadan standard gauge rail line has come to fruition.
Even against criticism of the fact that we're taking loans to build this, you are determined to complete this project. We will leave from here, Mr. President, and move by the end of the month to Kano Kaduna. We've secured approval from you to commence construction.
When I came in here, I said, wow, because it's not just that a station is a terminal is being provided, but the quality, the style, the beauty and the magnificence.
The rail line connecting three states is expected to move hundreds of passengers and freight, thereby transforming the social and economic lives of the people. The project is part of the railway modernization in the country. Oyina Kalo Oka, NTA News.
Now, the change in the transportation landscape of Nigeria, particularly in the rail subsector, may be gradual, but it is progressing enough for many Nigerians to recognize and appreciate. In this report, Adeni Taiwo captures the mood of the residents at the inauguration of the Lagos-Ibadan rail line by President Muhammadu Buhari in Ebute Metta, Lagos.
My name is Nick Jones. I'm a third generation of this area, I can tell you.
She was one of the early callers at the Mobolaji Johnson train station, Ebute Metta, where President Muhammadu Buhari formally inaugurated the Lagos-Ibadan rail line for full commercial operations. A third generation indigene of Ebute Metta, a nostalgia about the old railway station where she had her childhood memories was about to be replaced with a new era in the rail subsector, and she was not going to miss out on the parade.
If I want to talk about this, this is a masterpiece. I would say it is awesome. A very good project that will stand its test of time.
When I was in the university, we always take a night rail from Ibadan, Oshogbo, Ofa, Ilorin, up to Kaduna and up to Jos. So one will be very happy now that the situation now is good.
Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka also came in early. He is one on the list of heroes recognized by the federal government with train stations along the Lagos-Ibadan rail corridor named after them.
It reminds us of the accomplishments of our heroes in the past. People will ask, oh, who is Chief Anthony Nahoro? Who is Professor Wole Soyinka? For
the managing director of Nigeria Railway Corporation, Fidet Ohiria, who has been working hard alongside other stakeholders towards timely delivery of the project, it is time to heave a sigh of relief, take a beat, and move forward.
I'm relieved and happy that we have delivered it, but I see a lot to be done.
It was a happy President Muhammadu Buhari who later flagged off the project and took a symbolic ride on the train to signal commencement of commercial operations in Lagos. Adeniyi Taiwo, NTA News.
A bit on security now. The federal government has vowed to act firmly and decisively against anyone or group of persons carrying out attacks. Security equipment to the police by the Lagos state government maintains that his shoot-on-sight order against anyone found illegally with AK-47 rifles and other assault weapons remains in force. State House correspondent Adam Musambo reports.
The patrol vehicles and other security equipment for the police and other security agencies are the result of effective collaboration and cooperation between Lagos State government and the private sector in the task of securing lives and property for sustainable growth and development of the economy.
All armed robbers, whatever name you are called, kidnappers, cultists, traffic robbers, bandits and other criminals, we will leave no stone unturned in making Lagos
security equipment will go a long way in boosting the morale of the police and further enhance their capacity to fight crime and criminality. Lasting security, he said, is a necessary foundation for business, investments, and true prosperity. Hence, the resolve by his administration to strictly abide by its constitutional oath to secure lives and property of Nigerians.
As Commander-in-Chief, my primary responsibility remains the security of the country and the safety of all citizens. Despite the many challenges we are facing, we will secure our infrastructure, our highways, our communities, and our forests, and we will secure the lives of our people.
The president, who takes pride in his administration and national policing architecture,
and decisively against any and all persons fomenting or carrying out attacks on our police force and other security personnel.
The president used the opportunity to commend the Lagos State for showing a true...
We'll be right back. The welfare of Nigerians, courageously finding common ground to move the country forward, and passionately carrying out their oversight functions with justice and fairness. The President presents his goodwill message to the Senate President, Ahmed Lawan, and Speaker House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, congratulating them for using their wealth of experience, wisdom and knowledge to ensure a peaceful working relationship, picture of nation building. As the 9th National Assembly commemorates the landmark achievements, President Buhari believes with focus on improving and old can fully realize their dreams. The Wassa community of the Federal Capital Territory. Senate President Ahmed Lawan led the senators, where he emphasized that the provision of amenities and security at IDP camps is not a favor, but a constitutional obligation on government at all levels. Ignatius Nkwo reports.
It was immunization day at the Wassa internally displaced persons camp in the southern part of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Outside this porter cabin, which serves as clinic for the over 5,000 inhabitants, were hundreds of young displaced Nigerians, mainly from Borno State, who had waited in bated breath to welcome Nigeria's number 3 citizen, the President of the Senate. 22-year-old Tabitha Solomon from Yola, mother of one, got married in this camp and hopes to go back home. But before then, inadequate water supply, foodstuff, and poor health facilities.
We will go about looking for water.
Shortly, the President of the Senate arrives in company of other principal officers. The visit is part of activity dignity, provision of amenities, and concerted effort towards returning them back to their homes.
We must ensure that these Nigerians who are in this camp and indeed in all other refugee camps or IDP camps, who are vulnerable in so many ways, receive what is due to them from government.
Over the last few years, the federal government of Nigeria
as well as other agencies of government and the Federal Capital Territory Administration have been taking care of these vulnerable Nigerians.
The Federal Capital Territory Primary Healthcare Development Board is aware of the health challenges in the camp.
The common health problems here are mainly before this increased incidence of gastroenteritis.
The management of the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons on behalf of the camp management received foodstuffs, toiletries and clothing from President of the Senate.
We also have female hygiene items for the dignity of our women, and all these items are worth the sum of 10 million naira. So we thank the distinguished senators for this time.
The visit rekindled the hope in Tabitha and others who have their children here that one day these children will know their ancestral homes. From the Wasa IDP camp, Abuja, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
The House Committee on Health Institutions has promised not to fail any community that meets the standards for the establishment of a medical institution in their area. Chairman of the committee, Pascal Obi, said this at the public hearing on a bill for the establishment of a federal medical center of Ogbara Delta State. John Yaku reports.
The push for the establishment of the medical center is in consideration of the distance of the people to the nearest medical facility and the population this institution would serve.
The fact that we have a federal medical center in Asaba. Asaba North. Ogara used to be 3 hours to Asaba by road. And today, with the condition of our road and insecurity, it takes about 5 hours to get to Asaba.
The Federal Minister of Health is not in disagreement with this. John Yaku, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has urged the federal government to secure the release of the 136 abducted pupils from a school in Tegina Rafi local government area of Niger State. The issue, which came under matters of urgent importance, was raised by the Niger State caucus of the House of Representatives. The lawmakers suggested the deployment of drones and helicopters to identify hideouts of criminals, in addition to developing a mechanism that would ensure synergy amongst security agencies, especially on intelligence sharing for timely response to security breaches. The House urged the Inspector General of the frequent attacks by bandits. In other news, the federal government has declared Monday, 14th June 2021 as public holiday to mark this year's Democracy Day celebration. Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, in a statement on behalf of the federal government, congratulates Nigerians and solicited their support for the present administration in its efforts at ensuring a united and prosperous nation. Aregbesola said any form of agitation that threatens the unity of the country should be shunned for the good of all, saying Nigeria would be a land of peace, unity and progress if all citizens embrace the spirit of brotherliness. Now, 16-year-old John Benedict from the government secondary school Lugbe and 2 other participants who bagged the highest number of gold medals in the Multina School Games held in Abuja are now proud recipients of $500,000 naira each. Thomas Ogbetere reports that all gold medalists in the competition also went home with a 4G tablet.
The grand finale of the second Multina Annual School Games was full of entertainment from a Nigerian musical artist, Mayoku, who thrilled the audience.
Today we are here lively showcase yourself.
You could see what it's to see, honestly.
And people are readily waiting to tap into this, nurture them and make them great champions.
I think what Multina is doing should be something that should ginger other corporate bodies in Nigeria, that they should emulate what Multina is doing, especially in the area of sport.
Over 150 schools participated in the 2021 Annual Multina School Games. In Abuja, Thomas Ogbetere, NTA News.
Of their children on issues of patriotism, self-discipline, as well as the dangers of premarital sex and drug abuse. Kenneth Nanim reports that the agency is moving round schools in the FCT to create more awareness for students on the subject matter.
The rate at which the younger generation indulge in crime and criminality has become a source of concern for the government and the society at large. The National Orientation Agency, saddled with the responsibility of public education and enlightenment, is also worried and therefore intensifies campaign towards curbing the trend. Here, the message is clear. Students should run away from drug abuse, cultism, and premarital sex. Rather, inculcate discipline, set goals of self-realization, and solve problems through teamwork.
If you are being sexually harassed, you should say no. No is the best answer.
I'm sure we will also use this opportunity and from what we learn to help the society and make our country better.
These organizers say will equip them to speak out and stand against sexual harassment and other peer group pressure and influence.
We're also talking to them about values and ethics that they must imbibe to make them patriotic and good citizens.
This violence. We find that when young people understand what these issues are, they are better informed to be able to protect themselves, speak up, break that culture of silence when these issues occur.
It's an honor and privilege to give our students an opportunity to learn, unlearn, and relearn.
All forms of discrimination against persons living with disabilities, sexuality, and reproductive health care are other areas of focus. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.